Good morning everyone, welcome again to my channel. And today I want us to talk or go through on my simple soil fertility and management practices. One of the challenges we realize today is on food production, and food comes from the soil. And one of the benefits of managing the soil is ability to produce food, fruits, vegetables, flowers, and making the place beautiful. So given the cost of fertilizers, given the risk of using commercial fertilizers, and soil degradation, pollution of the water table, one of the methods I've opted for is on composting. While many farmers opt to compost by creating a compost pit, in the African tradition, we create a compost pit or a pit where we throw our garbage, kitchen waste and house waste, and once it decomposes, it is spread across the farm. I have avoided this method. One, he's a native resident, a small bird. I think she has fallen or she's enjoying insects, and I'm not going to interrupt enjoy my farm. So anyway, back to our topic. So one of the most cost-effective methods I came to realize to reduce the smell of a compost, decomposing compost, was to spread. So when I spread the red soil on this farm 3 years ago, I bought manure, dry aged manure from farmers, specifically the herdsmen, those who are herding cows and sheep, the Maasai herdsmen. So where the cattle sleep, the cattle pen, we swept, and I got several bags, over 40 bags of dry manure. And so when we did this soil, when we poured this soil, that was between April 2022 and June 2022. By August, we started spreading manure. So doing over 40 bags, 90 kgs bags of soil, it was a cost-effective method. So we dug and we started planting. So how did I manage my fertility since then? This farm has rarely used chemical fertilizers. The last time we did chemical fertilizers was for the crop, the maize crop of March 2024 last year. We did subtop dressing, DAP for planting, and CAN for top dressing. This year, this maize crop, which you can see here, was planted with DAP, and we did not do any top dressing. And you need to note, we have heavy compassion. We packed maize. I literally packed maize. I planted the seeds packed. I did not thin. And every plant has a maize cob. So the only problem we had was the rains stopped early as 5th of May in our area. But by then, my maize had rapidly grown. This is a Duma variety. It is a 90-day crop variety of maize. It matures within 30 days and you are ready to harvest. So every crop has a maize cob, and they have seeds despite the rains because of the soil fertility. So what I have done is after manuring the first time in 2022, I have maintained through composting. And the easiest form of composting has been here. As you can see, the easiest form of composting has been the spreading of kitchen waste and waste. Any waste we have, apart from the weeds. When we weed, we collect the weeds and we burn. Then the ashes are spread in the farm. But the kitchen waste, you can see the kitchen waste here, apart from the plastics. We usually collect plastics and dispose properly. The kitchen waste, all the harvested beans, the waste from the harvested beans, dry beans, maize, which has been harvested, the waste is thrown in the farm. And so over time, it dries. And as it dries, with time, within a span of a month or two, this is my pineapple. So within a span of a month or two, I will bring in one or two farm workers, ladies, and we are going to dig or tilling the land. We shall till. As we till, and the soil mixes with this waste and it will compost naturally. So by the time you're coming to plant again in October, all this waste has dried up, has rotted, has been eaten, like the waste, the beans waste or any stalk, tree or stump or wood has been eaten by termites, has been broken down by termites. Then the rest decomposes naturally with the soil moisture. So that is one method. So as you can see, the whole farm has kitchen waste. So we avoid heaps. We avoid single heaps of kitchen waste to avoid bad smells within the farm. So what we do, we spread and they dry, decompose naturally. This is a maize stalk from last year's harvest back in July. It has already been broken down by the termites and most have decomposed. So we continually digging, mixing the soil with all this waste, and then when it rains, it is softened, broken down further by the bacteria, the enzymes, the pests, the insects in the soil. And that's how we deal with waste, kitchen waste, and that's how I naturally and in a simple way improve my soil fertility. So another method I improve soil fertility is using wood ash. Wood ash has potash. So this is our outside kitchen, fire kitchen, which we use for cooking the dog food or any heavy boiling. So all the wood ash is collected and thrown in the land on the farm at the bottom of crops. Another source of ash, very good source of ash, is waste. So these are the excess sweet potato vines after pruning, and so I have thrown them on this heap. I give them up to 2-3 weeks to dry, then we burn. So that ash is used back in the farm. This is a banana pit stem with shoots. And so at the bottom you see we have very strong shoot activity. The rhizomes are growing very well. So at the bottom we have plenty of manure, but above all else is ash, wood ash, because bananas love that ash. It balances the pH of the soil, and I use ash to neutralize the acidity produced by chemical fertilizers. That is how I manage my soil fertility and I manage my soil. It's not only with bananas, but also my sweet potatoes. These were planted exactly 2 weeks ago, the vines, and you can see there's very strong shoot activity. When you dig down, there's also very strong root activity. And the trick is manure. This is goat sheep manure from my neighbor, a local farmer with livestock. Then I have watered, and also there is wood ash. So for heavy consumers of nutrients like fruit trees, this is a pixie orange. At the base I create a trench around the fruit tree, and waste like sugarcane. After eating sugarcane, we dump here. It's broken down by the ants, termites. Then I water, and I have covered with mulch. So the mulch maintains the moisture of the soil. The mulch helps the moisture of the soil also helps all the waste to decompose fast, where the soil enzymes work on it, and it creates a very good system, because as you can see, there are so many insects. If I dig further, you will see earthworms. For very sensitive plants like spinach is very sensitive to the cold, to extreme heat, to over fertilization. Wood ash is very good at neutralizing, in as much as once in a year, I may use urea fertilizer to produce big leaves, because for now I do not have any animals on the farm, livestock or like chicken. The combination of animal manure and wood ash, then mulching, has really helped my soil fertility, and it helps my sensitive crops like spinach to thrive through the cold season, the dry season, and the wet season. Another method I use to improve the fertility of soil and manage soil on my farm is crop rotation and intercropping. Now what is happening here is I had planted a row of cowpeas next to the maize, and at the bottom of each maize I had intercropped with yellow bean variety. So the cowpeas and the beans are nitrogen fixing crops, and our maize and other crops need nitrogen, but they're not necessarily nitrogen producers. So for good source of nitrogen, I intercrop. I always have a crop of cowpeas and a variety of bean throughout the farm. It's also worthy to note that as I look for ways of having the phosphorus and or the potash and the nitrogen, the potash from the wood ash and the nitrogen from the nitrogen fixing crops. So we have had eaten leaves for several months. These were planted back in early March. We've eaten the leaves. This is now an old crop. We have started harvesting cowpeas. We have cooked cowpea seeds, and so we continue harvesting until the crop dries down or dies down. Then we start the cycle again. On this other side, you see the wastes from the yellow bean variety we had planted throughout the farm along with the maize, so providing the maize with nitrogen. And when I planted the maize with DAP plus wood ash. So that is why, despite the failure of the rains, I have a very good harvest of maize, or I expect a good harvest of maize despite the rains failing or ending early, because of soil management, managing the fertility of soil, as well as managing the moisture in the soil. So there, my people, That is how I manage soil fertility and manage my soil, by throwing the kitchen wastes and the farm. Once in a while getting animal manure from a local farmer, digging all that waste with the soil, intercropping, and using wood dash. Enjoy and welcome again to the channel. Please subscribe, send a like, and follow. Thank you.